Arjun, a 10-year-old boy, stood at the edge of his village, holding his father's hand. The village of Chandanpur, with its lush fields and serene river, was all he had ever known. But today, they were leaving. Arjun's father had found a job in the bustling city of Mumbai, and the promise of a better life lured them away from their humble abode. As the train chugged into Mumbai, Arjun's eyes widened at the sheer scale of the city. The towering buildings seemed to touch the sky, and the streets buzzed with life. Yet, this excitement was short-lived. The city, with its constant noise and overwhelming crowds, soon felt intimidating. Arjun's first day at his new school was a disaster. His village accent and traditional clothes made him stand out. The other kids teased him, calling him village boy. He struggled to keep up with the lessons, which were far more advanced than what he was used to. At home, the small apartment they rented was cramped and suffocating compared to their spacious house in Chandanpur. The constant noise from the traffic and the polluted air made him long for the tranquility of his village. One evening, while exploring the neighborhood, Arjun noticed a group of older boys acting suspiciously near a dark alley. They seemed to be hiding something. Curiosity piqued. Arjun followed them discreetly. He discovered they were part of a local gang involved in illegal activities. Fear gripped him, but so did a strange sense of responsibility. He wanted to tell someone, but who would believe a village boy? Days passed, and Arjun's anxiety grew. The gang members had noticed him, and their leader, a menacing teenager named Raj, started threatening him subtly. "Keep your mouth shut, or else," Raj whispered menacingly one day after school. Arjun was torn. He didn't want to get into trouble, but he also couldn't stand the thought of letting bad things happen in his new home. In his school, there was a kind-hearted teacher, Mrs. Rao, who noticed Arjun's distress. One day, after class, she called him aside and gently asked if everything was all right. Unable to hold back, Arjun poured out his heart, telling her about the gang and his fears. Mrs. Rao listened intently and reassured him. "You did the right thing by telling me, Arjun. Now, let me handle it. You are brave." Mrs. Rao contacted the local police, who devised a plan to catch the gang in the act. They asked Arjun to act normally and continue as if he hadn't told anyone. It was a nerve-wracking experience for Arjun, but he trusted Mrs. Rao and the police. One evening, as Raj and his gang gathered in the alley, the police, hidden nearby, swooped in and apprehended them. Raj shot a venomous glare at Arjun as he was taken away, but Arjun stood firm, a new sense of courage filling him. News of Arjun's bravery spread throughout the school. The students who once teased him now admired his courage. He made new friends and began to feel more at home in the city. His academic performance improved with the help of Mrs. Rao, who took a special interest in mentoring him. The city still had its challenges, but Arjun no longer felt overwhelmed. He had faced his fears and emerged stronger. The once intimidating city now felt like a place of endless possibilities. Months later, Arjun wrote a letter to his friends in Chandanpur. "Dear friends, life in the city is different from our village, but it has taught me many things. I miss the fields and the river, but I have made new friends here. The city can be scary, but it is also full of opportunities. I faced my fears and found courage I didn't know I had. Remember, no matter where we go, we can always find our place and make a difference. With love, Arjun." Arjun had found his place in the city, not just by adapting, but by standing up for what was right. His journey from the village to the city had made him a hero, both in his eyes and in the eyes of those around him.